Thanks for staying with us. We're going to start with the nation. Post-poll crisis, are you under pressure to quit as PDP chair? How unbundling of railways power boosts the economy by experts? 3.4 billion naira debt, court blocks Oyo government's account in 4 banks. NPC fixes May 3rd for population census. NAFDAC alert on recalled eye drop. APC clears Uzodinma Sylvia Lion Adeyemi for primaries. And why I dropped my ambition by Faleke. All right, which story are we starting with?
I'll start with the PDP National Chairman, Dr. Iyorchia Ayu, who is under pressure to quit because, of course, the crisis that we're aware of that has hit their party. So yesterday, they said he was suspended by the executive committee of his native ward in Boko local government area of Benue State. Vote of no confidence was passed on him. The PDP Deputy National Chairman, Ambassador Taofeek Arapaja, also said that Ayu should resign so that he can pave the way for rebuilding the party ahead of the 2027 elections. As we also know, Wiki has constantly spoken in the same vein. And then, so at the local level, at the meeting, he was asked, he was suspended. And some of the things that he was alleged to be involved in is, they say, anti-party activities. He says he would have led PDP to lose at his ward and local government, along with his allies who also didn't vote at the governorship elections. The ward ESCO also accused him of failing to pay his annual dues as demanded by the PDP constitution. And of course, we know that he had just recently suspended the former governors of Ekiti State, Ayo Fayose, and Katsina State, Ibrahim Shetima, for also anti-party activities. So that's where he is. I guess this thing is turn by turn, as they say.
Yeah, so the federal government has confirmed that this year's National Population and Housing Census will begin May 3rd to May 5th. A member of the Publicity and Advocacy Committee on 2023 National Population and Housing Census, Dr. Garba Abari, confirmed this message, and he said it's just going to be for a few days, May 3rd to May 5th. And he says that the census would capture every person, household, and structure for national planning and project execution. That the initial plan they had was to do the census immediately after the elections, and they had to move the census when the governorship and House of Assembly elections was moved. But now that they are ready, in terms of readiness, they said they are very ready. In terms of preparedness, they are ready to embark on the exercise. They had to take quite a number of time to train and retrain and get people aware, though the awareness is not on a massive scale, but very soon we're going to be hearing more of just getting Nigerians to be census aware.
Yeah, so I also took that story, and the reason I took it is because it explained to us the importance of census. And it says that the most important thing is for Nigerians to be aware that census is about them because they matter. So let them be counted because they count. I thought that was amazing. He said it's about national planning and execution of developmental projects.
All right, NAFDAC, so the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control has recalled Esri Care and Delsam Pharma artificial tear eye drops. If you recall those, I remember Esri Care. Anyway, the recall was contained in a public alert by NAFDAC in Abuja by Professor Mojisola Adeye, that's the Director General herself. She said that back in the US, the CDC had recalled this Esri Care specifically because it suspected a contamination with Pseudomonas highly resistant bacteria. According to her, since the US had recalled it, they had noticed about 68 patients across 16 states with health problems from the bacteria, including eye infection and watery eye. So other problems associated with the eye were permanent loss of vision, surgical removal of the eyeballs, and a case of death with the bloodstream infection. So NAFDAC has said that these Esri Care have been asked to be, they are currently inspecting and trying the ones in Nigeria to be sure if they're part of the contaminated one. But in the meantime, they're recalling all those who have the Esri Care and Delsam Pharma artificial tears eye drop, not to use them.
Vic, I need to go and write that thing down because, everybody wears glasses in my house and we have,
Yeah, so. All right. Another story in Nation?
Yes, major story. Oyo State has had 4 of their bank accounts blocked because they owe 3.4 billion naira to former local government chairmen and councillors who were elected around May 2018, but when the governor, Makinde, took office in 2019, he dissolved their election. They're supposed to serve for 3 years, but they didn't get to serve. And immediately they found out that he was going to dissolve their election, their position. They filed a court motion, and that court motion asked that they be paid a total of 3.4 billion naira, which hasn't been paid. And now their accounts, or your bank accounts with First Bank, UBA, Wema Bank, and Zenith Bank have been frozen to allow for the payment of these councillors and local government children.
The Punch. INEC votes 3 billion naira to fight electoral cases. LASMA arrests fake official making 35,000 naira daily. Airfare soar as foreign airlines hike exchange rate. Ramadan, ex-governors donate 240 truck of foodstuff, groups to feed 2,000 daily. UK to sanction 10 Nigerians, envoy chides Fani Kayode. PDP vows probe as Benue ward suspends IU. And political rascals, FNFRA knocks out Nwanyan with demands Ohanese's clarification. All right. Story are we taking there?
The LASMA official that was, a fake LASMA official that was just arrested. So the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority confirmed the arrest of a fake traffic officer, Bamidele Omotutu, for extorting unsuspecting members of the public, including traffic offenders in the state. So he was picked up around Olu Holloway Road, around Alfred Rowani area of Ikoyi, by a LASMA monitoring surveillance. And by the time they started investigating, they realized that he was making about 35,000 naira daily. So for any traffic offense, or maybe you start, putting down passengers, and he was mainly targeting private drivers, private vehicles, to make that money out of them. And this was, brought to LASMA notice when some individuals started putting a call through to LASMA using their hotlines to report that particular guy. And when they asked him, he had to buy this their reflective fake jacket. That was what he was using. He's 55 years of age. And LASMA is putting out a message that every offense that you have to pay for, they are actually very cashless, and they'll have to take you to court if you commit a traffic offense.
You shouldn't be exchanging
cash with any LASMA official. And they are also going to be monitoring to fish out those fake LASMA officials in every area.
But Nigerians are some Nigerians will abuse it to say, oh, God, don't worry, it doesn't take 5
Just take, yeah.
But see, now there's a law. It's now left for Nigerians to obey it or not obey it.
So I have the story on airfares. Apparently, a lot of Nigeria ranks #1 in the country that has the most trapped funds belonging to airlines. And because of that, airlines have now reviewed the cost of the exchange rate for tickets. Usually it was 462 naira per dollar, but now it has gone to 551 naira per dollar. And travel agents, the former president of the National Association of Nigerian Travel Agents, Mr. Bankole Bernard, was confirmed this and said that it's getting closer to the black market rate because the CBN isn't doing enough to ensure that airlines get their monies out of Nigeria. A promo being run by Virgin Atlantic was 800,000 naira. Based on this change, it now costs 1.1 million naira just because of the increase in the fares. And the conversation is that IATA is giving few weeks for airlines that have their funds trapped in Nigeria to be released. The total amount as of January 2023 is $743 million. $743 million. And they are hoping to get it out within the next few weeks.
That's good. So for me, I have the story. A former governor of Zamfara State, Alhaji Abdulaziz Yari, he has donated 240 trucks of food items to members of the APC, internally displaced persons, orphans, and then other categories of underprivileged persons. He says that he understands that this is something that they do annually and was aimed at cushioning hardship amongst people, especially during the Ramadan fast. He says out of the 240 trucks of food items, 140 will be distributed to the 14 local government area of the state, 10 trucks per local government, 32 trucks for the IDPs, 12 trucks for orphans, 10 trucks for groups and associations, and 46 trucks for Islamic scholars and other underprivileged people. I thought it was good to highlight this because sometimes, we always ask, what do people do in between elections, in between, what do they do as a party? But it looks like, in Zamfara State, this is what they do annually to help people.
So INEC has budgeted 3 billion naira to defend the results of the elections that just passed. That's for the February 25th and the March 18th. According to INEC, so far they have over 100 election petitions that have been filed by aggrieved candidates across the country. And this is why they need quite a lot of lawyers, a lot of money to be able to defend. I'd say across the states, they say some of the states we have Edo, Plateau, Ondo, Kwara, Lagos, Oyo, and a bunch of others. And even the presidential one is also being contested. Although critics have said, for example, PDP has said that Nigeria should be asking INEC why they're spending so much to defend election cases. After spending 300 billion on beavers, why are you now having to spend 3 billion on cases? APC is saying that they don't see what is so extraordinary about the budget, that they have to defend the work they've done. LP is saying no matter how much money you have, we're still going to win our mandate back. So, but they're saying that they need all the refunds, all the funds they can get to defend because they have multiple cases across the state, and it's just budget for the litigations. Moving on now, let's move on quickly to Daily Sun. UK places 10 Nigerians on Visa Watchlist over ethnic profiling. Nwayaun didn't refer to Yoruba as political rascal, says Ohaneze. CBN steps up efforts to end Naira scarcity. More trouble for IU as NEC members back suspension by Benue PDP. Census FG assures Nigerians of credible, acceptable exercise. Anti-corruption conference asks Buhari to protect rule of law. Election violence, investigate governors, deputies, all face legal action, Serap tells INEC. Beck, Buhari, Obasanjo, Jonathan Tinubu mourns Kalu and address pains of Igbo Osun monarch urges Tinubu. Which story are we starting with?
Major headline. So the UK envoy to Nigeria was speaking at Nigeria Info yesterday. The British Deputy High Commissioner to Nigeria, Ben, and I don't want to mispronounce many parts of the name, so I'll just leave it hanging. He said that they put about 10 Nigerians on the UK visa ban watch list, and this is because of what they said, especially within Lagos, the anti-Igbo comments, and that he's not going to list the names, but that they are reviewing on a daily basis, increasing the number of names of people they have on record who've said things that undermined democracy within Nigeria during the just concluded general election. It then mentioned the advantages of the huge strides that many megacities around the world has recorded because of the diversity of human capital, and attacking and preventing non-indigenes from being able to vote is totally wrong, and it impedes the growth of Lagos, quoting him. He also said that they're still watching other people to see what they've said, and he said he thinks it's right to have diversity of ethnicity, language, and he gave example of London. And he said you see the success of different people within that city because of the success of the different people is what has brought about the success of the city itself and much more.
Okay, Dr. Alex Ogbonna, he is the National Publicity Secretary of Ohaneze Ndigbo, and he said that the chairman of the Elders Council, Chief Emmanuel Nwayaun, never referred to Yorubas in Lagos as political rascals. He said that he was referencing the video that went viral where Nwayaun was saying that Yorubas are political rascals. He said that the report, Dr. Alex was saying that the report is a typical falsehood fabricated by social media entrepreneurs, decorated with wings, expanded with venom, injected with ethnic nuances to create inter-ethnic mistrust between the age-long partners in social, cultural, religious, and economic development of Nigeria. He said that what Nwayaun actually said was that I want to tell those in Lagos to realize that there is no war between the Yorubas, between us and the Yorubas. Those who attacked Ndigbo in Lagos recently are rascals who should be arrested. Those were his, according to Dr. Alex, those were the words of Nwayaun. We said that Yoruba people he said platforms that carry the twisted statements were bent on creating a rift between the Igbos and Yorubas. As much as some mischief makers will twist the speech by Nwayaun, the truth remains that he holds the Yorubas in a very high esteem and he used the Oka event to express it.
I like the fact that he came out to
Clarify.
clarify what he said. So this CBN has been trying so far to alleviate the cash crunch. You know, they gave an order that banks will be opening Saturdays and Sunday, and a lot of people said they were able to get cash. They were paying about 20 to 30,000 across the counter.
Saw line on
Yes, there's a queue. So they are doing what they can. They are loading money into the banks and the ATMs, but we still need to be very patient because people actually need money. Some POS operators were said that they had to go back, you collect, and then you go queue up again because they had to start up their businesses. So let's give them commission. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. But however, I just want the CBN not to relax on printing of the new notes. You know, this is just going to last us till 31st of December. Do we now start all over? Exactly. So even if they are reloading the old cash, they should be working towards the new one so that once it's 31st of December, we are not back to square one.
Absolutely. Moving on to Vanguard, UK, FNFRA, MBF, PANDEP, others decry ethnic profiling. Scarcity of Naira notes easing as banks comply with CBN new directives. PDP crisis deepens as parties suspend National Chairman Ayu. Why we introduce e-Naira, says CBN. Rule of law, anti-graft confab asks Buhari to drop EFCC chairman. FG confirms May 3rd for census. Oluwo to Tinubu convene confab to address Igbo's concerns. All right, which story are we starting in Vanguard?
So the delegates from 158 anti-corruption, social society, and non-governmental organization and community-based organization gathered in Abuja. And in an effort to deal with anti-corruption, they asked the president of President Muhammadu Buhari to let the current chairman of EFCC go. They expressed concerns that the current chairman of EFCC, under the leadership of Abdulrasheed Bawa, allegedly lacked transparency. And they said that the legacy of our president, which is supposed to be built on anti-corruption, cannot stand if he retains Mr. Abdulrasheed Bawa as the head of EFCC. They also demanded that what they described as attempts by some politicians and people of vested interest to push the country over the edge, you know, and they spoke against the ethnic crisis, the division among Nigerians, politicians funding and pushing the narrative of division. That also should be dealt with. But they said the main part of their statement was Nigerians cannot continue, Bawa cannot continue to preside over the important law enforcement agency like EFCC, and because he has to answer some cases himself, and the president shouldn't let his presence taint the legacy over the past 7 years, almost 8 years.
All right. The Oluwo of Iwo, Oba Akombi, has said that the president-elect Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu must convene a special conference to address the Igbo people's grievances towards achieving a united Nigeria. According to him, he says that the Igbo leaders, all the current utterances from some Igbo leaders shows that the pain of the Igbo concerning the civil war is still fresh, and that the president-elect, let me quote him specifically, he said, "I know the president-elect, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to be a smart leader. He should prioritize the unity of Nigeria through the reintegration of the Igbos to further cement the unity of Nigeria. The president-elect needs to reach out to them. We are all one spirit in a body," and that they need to have a conference to address the hurts of the civil war that's passed. Obviously, it's quite fresh, and they counted the highest loss of human lives and property during that period. And from the utterances today, shows that hurt still exists and it needs to be addressed by a conference. Any others? Moving on to the Nigerian Tribune, I think, and we're done. Afenifere tackles the 1 year war. We've talked about that. Protect your legacy. Let Bawa go. National Anti-Corruption Conference tells Buhari. 6 lawmakers jostle for 10th Assembly seat as Northwest aspirants swell push for Senate presidency. 2023 census starts in May. Gombe retains top position as easiest state for business. Oh, really?
I'm relocating.
Oh, your speaker loses mom. Dia dies at 78. Buhari, OBJ, Jonathan Tinubu, others mourn. And PDP Benue Ward suspends Ayu. Okay. Nobody took...
the Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council has released the 2nd edition of the Subnational Ease of Doing Business Report for 2023, which places Gombe again ahead of the 36 states of the Federation. It says Gombe is the jewel of the savannah and they recorded a weighted score of 7.15 to emerge as the state's friendliest environment for business. Then we have Jigawa as second, and followed by Sokoto third. And as I was reading it, I was like, are you sure I ain't relocating some of my businesses?
Our makeup artist, the young
Gombe.
girl, she just said that she went to Gombe and it was such a beautiful place.
God.
And she enjoyed serving there.
We need to
She
go
was
to
actually
some of these
scared,
northern
but she
parts of the
loved
country.
it. So, I mean, I think Gombe, that could be actually correct.
But they're number one.
Amazing.
I'd love to go to Gombe. That is all we can take on Front Page Review. When we come back, start with the hot topic of the day. Stay with us. We'll be right back.